Well, happy almost Thanksgiving. We're just a little over a week out. And if you are in charge of dinner, I have something special to talk to you about today. But before we do that, could you leave a review? It would be so helpful, whether you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Every review helps get us out there just a little bit more so we can talk to other empty nest ladies and bring three best guests on for you. So if you've got a minute, leave a review. I'd love to see what you think. And now, on with the show.
Welcome to the Empty Nest Kitchen, where we're finding fun in the kitchen now that the kids have flown the coop. I'm Christine Van Bloom, a cooking teacher with over 25 years of experience, here to show you tips, tricks, and joy in your kitchen, all while trying something new. Let's get cooking.
So my background is actually that of a cooking school owner for 15 years and a cooking school teacher for, well, quite a bit longer. And I wanted to tell you that Thanksgiving is not the time to experiment. And I know that if food is your giant, that is going to break your heart. But after teaching all of these years and after developing cooking school schedules, because as the owner, I had to always figure out what would sell when, what were people interested in, and so on and so forth. And I can tell you that selling a Thanksgiving cooking class was akin to pulling teeth. Thanksgiving is so thoroughly rooted in our deepest traditions that folks want what they want and they don't want anything different. Now, if you're like me and you love to cook, this can be a little bit disconcerting because for me, entertaining is so much fun. Our house is small. We're going to cram 20-some people into it. It's going to be chaos, and I love every minute of it, especially because I don't wash the dishes. But I can tell you it's also a time when I don't always want to cook the same boring thing, right? No, I'm a South Central Pennsylvania girl by birth and a Maryland girl by choice. And I will tell you that we had this really cool family tradition. You'll hear about it on next week's pod. But we would go and we would have the same exact dinner every single year. There was nothing fancy. There was everything homemade, but it was deeply rooted in what everyone, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everyone had grown up with. So I remember it being such a thing that I wasn't even allowed to cook, even after going to culinary school. So I took a stuffing one year. I had been reading my Fine Cooking magazine, and oh my goodness, that was so great. I loved it. I'm so sad it's gone. But there was a cornbread stuffing, and in my family, there was never cornbread stuffing anywhere. And I thought this would be fantastic. It had some bacon and some pecans, cornbread, carrot, celery, all the good stuff in it. Tasted it. Holy bananas. It was so fantastic. So I made my cornbread stuffing. I wrapped it up and I drove to Thanksgiving dinner. It was hours away. And I got there, we made sure it was hot, did the whole thing, and I remember nobody was touching it. And I'm going to tell you right now, that stuffing kicked booty. It was so fantastic, but it wasn't what people were thinking of. It wasn't what they associated with Thanksgiving dinner. It wasn't the stuffing that we were used to having. So nobody wanted to try it. And I was a pusher, man. I had to walk around with the tray offering stuffing to people. I swear, it was the craziest thing. And I remember my Uncle Buddy looking at it, curling his lip up and going, ah, no, and just brushing me off. I still remember this, and this was probably 20 years ago, right? People want what they want. They don't want you to make the green bean casserole with real green beans that you're going to blanch and a mushroom soup blend that you will create yourself. They don't want it. They want the cans. They want to dump it all in. And certainly there are exceptions to the rule. Of course, there always are. You've got somebody who's super good natured who's going to try anything. But how do you, as a cook, as somebody who's hosting, how do you keep things interesting for yourself without making it so you're stuck with lots of leftovers? My example is my fantastic cranberry relish that I love so much, where you use fresh cranberries. You can actually go to emptynestkitchen.co under blog, and you'll find a whole bunch of recipes. You'll have to go to another page. You will. But you can find my cranberry orange relish recipe. It's what I like to call a dump and stir, where you're dumping cranberry, sugar, orange zest, orange juice, shallots, some salt, all that good stuff. You're just dumping it into a glass baking dish and letting it go in the oven for like 30 minutes. And it comes out, and this is certainly nothing I was raised on. I mean, raise a hand if you were all about the ridges, right? I remember trying to get that cranberry sauce to plop out of the can standing in my grandma's kitchen, right? Trying to make sure all the ridges were intact and cutting it just so it would lay in her special cranberry dish. We never had cranberries that were whole, pretty big, ever. So for me, what I do is I love that, so I make it for me, and then I have the can too. Now, our Thanksgiving dinner is going to have turkey, classic, mashed potatoes, of course, stuffing, gravy, noodles. That is a South Central PA thing. Klusky noodles are what they're called, and we cook them in turkey broth, and then you put them on top of your mashed potatoes, or as I like to call it, carbs on carbs. We'll have that. In my family, my extended family growing up, we always had baked oysters that were simply saltines, butter, and jarred oysters that were layered and baked. I won't be making that, but that's something we always had. Green bean casserole, we would always have, we called it baked corn. My friend calls it like a corn souffle. So classic, so simple. Was there a green salad? Never. Were there appetizers? No. So for me, for my family, that's what they're looking for. So what are my options here? And what are your options here? Well, let's work it through. I recommend figuring out what those must-have dishes are. And then from there, planning where you want to be more elaborate or where maybe you just don't care. It's not too late to send a text to the major players and ask them, what is your favorite Thanksgiving dish? And from there, working out your list. With that information, I'm able to take a look and make sure that all of the basics are going to be on hand. And I'll tell you, I think you'll agree here, but folks really love to contribute. So if you are the type A and you are going to handle dinner soup to nuts the whole way through, it's a formal sit down. Listen, peace be with you, because that is amazing and I think you're incredible. I used to work that way and it just got to be too much on myself. It was just more than I could enjoy with the holiday. I was so wrapped up in it all. And good caterers, I don't know if you know this, but good caterers, even good restaurants, but more really caterers sort of thing, they know where their strengths are. So rather than baking fresh rolls for you, they're going to find somebody that makes really fabulous rolls. You have that same power. Put the attention to the dishes that matter the most to you and make sure that the dishes that matter to your family are walking in the door. I really have so much more fun now with everyone contributing. And I always ask everyone to bring a dessert. I want to have so many desserts on the back porch that we can't possibly eat them, right? And dessert is great, especially if you have teenagers. I think you'll find teenagers in the family really love to get their bake on. That's how a lot of younger folks get introduced into cooking with baking. Because when you're young, of course, or when you're old, then the sugar rules supreme. So let's take it back to dinner. I know, for example, that my wonderful sister-in-law is smart and she really wants a green salad. And let me tell you, that green salad, delicious. So they're going to bring that. My brother's going to handle the mashed potatoes. And if you need a great tip, you can make your mashed potatoes ahead of time and keep them warm in your slow cooker. My mom did that for years. But the other thing is slow cookers incorporate more moisture in. So you might be under the impression that you need to add a little extra milk to your potato situation. Completely the opposite. You do not have to do that because the slow cookers work and form condensation to help keep everything warm. So it's going to incorporate a little bit of that condensation in there anyway. So do not feel you have to add any, but I'm telling you, it is the greatest trick. I absolutely love it. Mashed potatoes in the slow cooker every day. It's too good. So I'm going to handle the turkey because I kind of feel like that's the host's job. I got to go get that. And if you are buying a frozen turkey this year, I can tell you right now, I'm buying a big one because we're going to have so many people. I am going to put it in the refrigerator probably on Saturday to make sure that it is thawed on time. Okay? It's always better to be a day too early than a day too late. Trust me on that. But if turkey maybe isn't as important to you, this is a great time to try deep frying because not only does it put the onus on who's ever going to deep fry, and we've deep fried a couple of times. My brothers have done it. They've usually taken charge of it, family friend. But it takes space that would be used in your oven and opens it up for other things, which I think is so, so great. So if turkey, maybe you like, yeah, deep fry it, baby, go ahead and get that set up ahead of time so you know what's what there. Let's see. I'm also going to make the noodles, of course, and the stuffing because my stuffing is phenomenal. It's so, so good. It's really basic. You don't have to go too fancy. And my brothers like what my brothers like. So I'm not going to make it too hard of a turn from what we grew up with. Though I am for sure going to make it tastier because that's something I can do and they will enjoy that. I'll take care of the noodles, and believe it or not, you can purchase turkey broth. Now, get it this week, okay? Because I promise you, things are going to start emptying on the store shelves, and you're not going to be able to find them next week. So either grab a Better Than Bouillon turkey broth base, where it's the concentrate base, and you add water to reconstitute it, or I don't actually need to keep that hanging around so long, so I usually just buy 2 quarts of turkey stock instead. It's super easy breezy. I'll use them both, and then I don't have any left over to worry about. Cook those noodles in the broth. They're so good. I'll take care of those things, and I'm sure there will be some others. The aforementioned cranberry, of course. but let folks bring what makes them happy. My friend Miranda, I know for a fact she's bringing the green bean casserole, which I love. And even though I grew up never having an appetizer, I think we're going to go a little later than we usually do. We've done dinner at like 12:31. I think I'm going to push it back to mid-late afternoon. But I'm probably just going to get a little bit of prosciutto and some cheese and just some light nibbles for folks. Nothing that I'm really going to put a ton of effort into, but if you want to experiment and you want to have fun with your cooking and you're stuck in that traditional dinner kind of pocket, appetizers are a great way to express your creativity. Now, I hate it when my husband wants something to nibble on out 15 minutes before dinner is ready. Oh, it's crazy. But if you're going to have some nice lead time before dinner is there, a couple of little nibbles are a good way to go. And unless there's something like my grandma's famous clam balls that you're craving, it is a great opportunity for you to get your culinary experimentation phase going. Also, don't forget dessert. If you are not a baker, buy it. Buy it. There is the most fabulous bakery near me, and she is so smart. For this weekend, she's doing all pies. All pies. Whatever kind of pie you want, you can get the pie, toss it in your freezer, and then thaw it out. You have some place near you, but I'm telling you, if you don't have that order in now, today is the day. Get your order in ASAP because you don't want to get shut out. Also, have your guests bring dessert. Like I mentioned before, if they want to bake it, awesome. If they want to bring a quart of ice cream, awesome. For us, dessert was always a free-for-all, nothing fancy and plated. More nibbles and things that were always on the front porch that you could go and eat. So keep it simple, but spread the jobs out. I think it makes it so much more interesting from a culinary standpoint because my friend from Nebraska is going to bring something different than my family from Central PA, right? Or the folks that are big international travelers, they'll bring something too. Now, there's one more note here, and this is an important one. I have this here, I have a gluten-free, I have a vegetarian, and I have a pescatarian. Oh, okay, so how are we going to handle that? Well, there are some things that I'm going to make 2 versions of gravy, but I'm not going to make 3. Gravy always has some sort of a starch in there to thicken it, but I will make sure that there are other things available for my gluten-free friend. It's kind of spacing it out, and it's also okay to put some of the responsibility back on them. So, not in a harsh way, just in a I'm so glad you're coming. You should contribute something that you really love kind of way. Because folks are typically really reasonable, really understanding. I just advise you to talk to them or to have some accommodations ready. So I know I'll make vegetarian gravy, no problem. I know that I can't use chicken stock in my stuffing, no problem. I'll use a veggie stock instead. It'll still be awesome. But those are the sort of things you have to talk about. I really want you to try to relax. Make your list now. This is our Super Bowl after all. Make your list now and delegate, delegate, delegate. And finally, if you have kind of a showstopper or something that is going to be really fun, whether it's a fire pit in your backyard and you're going to make s'mores, we love that. Or I have this little cotton candy machine that I pull out at all the holidays, and everybody goes crazy for it. It's the funniest thing. We'll pull that out and just let kids and adults. I want you to know the kids have had to wait behind the adults. You need to really get in there. So try to have something that's maybe user participation. For heaven's sake, we used to roast marshmallows over a sterno can. My mom got me a s'mores, and put that in air quotes, why don't you? A s'mores kit that you would put a sterno can in the middle for the fire, and then you would spin it around, to get the marshmallows in one thing and the graham crackers and the chocolate in another. Try to have something that maybe brings an edge of fun. If you've got it, try to have a little fun with it. After all, this is a time when we get to really celebrate food. The holiday is about food and friends and family. And I hope you have a great one. I will talk to you next week. And as always, have fun cooking, and I'll see you in the kitchen.